Sapling, all of you lovely lot. I am Lucky Lee, and today we are doing some mini painting. Mini painting is a massive hobby of mine. I am not one of these YouTubers that's a professional mini painter by any way, shape and form. It is definitely nothing that I'm particularly skilled at, but I absolutely love it. I'm not going to be teaching anyone how to paint minis today. I'm going to be showing people how I paint minis and talking about the love of the hobby and stuff like that. I was a mini painter from a very young age until my early 20s, and then, like a lot of people, I discovered all the things that people in their early 20s are into, and then kind of stepped away from mini painting. Now I'm 36, I've got a lot more time again, and I absolutely love mini painting. I rediscovered it February 2022, and I've never stopped since, really. Constantly painting, constantly just kind of trying to improve and get better. It's changed so much since I was a kid, and seeing the painting community, the YouTube community, just the gaming community. I will admit, I never play Warhammer, I just paint it. I'm not one of these painters that claims that they play it every now and then. I just don't play it. It's one of them. I know I run a business, I live a very busy life, and the only hobby time I get is to paint the minis. I don't get much opportunity to play with them, so apologies to my fellow Warhammer nerds. I am, however, well into the lore, love Games Workshop as a company, so yeah. I don't just paint Warhammer minis, but they're the majority of what I paint. I do a bit of 3D printing as well and paint those, but it's mostly Warhammer stuff. So today we are painting the Goff Rocker, which was last year's collector's edition, limited edition, whatever Games Workshop call it, around about Christmas time. Really cool dude, and I've been looking forward to it. Orcs are my thing. I love painting orcs, especially orcs like the Goff Rocker, the old school, big jaws, big like weird heads, much like myself, and yeah, I love those orcs. The goofier they look, the better, and Goff Rocker is a prime example. So let's do some painting. Right, let's try and see if an idiot can do some mini painting. First of all, we start off with some heavy black green from Vallejo. I lay this down as my base for all of my skin tones. I always like to paint the skin first on orcs. Not exactly sure why, most likely because I saw it in a YouTube video. Then I start going in with my slightly lighter sick green. Sick green is a great mid-tone green, and I find it's just got really nice coverage as well. Again, from Vallejo. A lot of my paints are Vallejo, Citadel, and a bit of everything really, to be honest. We've got some Army Painter as well. Then we've got Lively Green. Lively Green, I don't go straight in with it on this. I mostly mixed it with the Sick Green and then kind of blended it in. So this is Sick Green with a bit of Lively Green. Apologies for the camera work on this. And then I will go in with a neat Lively Green after, which is basically what I'm doing now. So I let that dry, and then I will kind of go in and highlight the lighter areas again. I like doing this because I get a lot more control. I dilute my paints as well. I use a fair bit of water, so some things that you'll see here have probably taken 2 or 3 coats to get like a bit of a smoother blend or transition. This, after I've got all my base greens down, is an oil wash. I use, I don't even know what brand they are, really cheap oil paints, and I mix them with some thinners, and I've actually got a pre-made pot of green specifically for orcs because I like my mixture. I cannot give you the full measurements of the mixture because I've just done it by eye, but yeah, so I do this and then I leave this to dry for about 3 hours. I find that's good enough then to paint straight over. I do also varnish over the top of the model before I use my oil paint, just because I find that the paint doesn't stick to the existing paint, if that makes sense. So, and next up here, we start laying in a few little bits of the brown on our squig. Now I based this with brown. I must have repainted this squig about 4 times throughout this process. I just couldn't get it right until the very last phase of the paint, which you'll see. So I was going to go for a brown to a yellow. I like my squigs to be gold. I don't know why every squig I've ever painted is gold. I don't think I'd seen gold squigs, so I just wanted to do that. Now I jump in and start doing my base tones for my levers. What I'll use here is a very, very light earth tone from Vallejo, and then I'll go over it with some Wildwood contrast paint. I saw the Wildwood contrast paint technique on the Painting Coach's video and unashamedly completely stole it. Absolutely love it. Then I go in with a grey. My greys I tend to mix with black and white. I don't actually use bottle grey that much for any greys, and I do it with a lot of my colours actually. I think it's down to tattooing because that's how I mix my greys with that as well. I just mix my own proportions of black and white. Then the next phase, I go in and I start putting all the white on the brighter areas that I'm going to be painting. Some nice bright colours to get this goth boy popping. So we do the guitar, bits of his jacket, the skulls and ornaments and stuff on his coat. And then we go in with some Flesh Tearers Red, which is my absolute favourite contrast paint. It is just a great red, and it really, really dries nice as well. You get those lovely contrasty things. I know some people have an opinion on contrast paint. Personally, absolutely love it. Makes life easier. And I've said before, I'm a novice painter. I ain't trying to win no competitions. And here we started putting in some purple that I didn't really like actually. It is Genestealer Purple from Citadel. Wasn't a big fan of it. It's more of a pastel-y purple than I wanted to go for, but we made the best of it because I didn't actually have a really bright, vibrant purple. So something I will have to get in the future. Any recommendations on a bright, vibrant purple mini paint would be greatly appreciated. Then I went in and just put some Null Oil over the top. I used the new recipe Null Oil. I don't really like it compared to the old one, but it is what it is. The old one's gone now. Here I did something and then completely undid it, but I figured I'd leave it in just to show that, you know, not all painters are perfect. I put some Agrax Earthshade over his knee plates and everything, and then for some reason I just realised that I didn't like it, so we're going over them in a minute. This was coat number 3 on the squig, I think. This was Skeleton Horde contrast paint, just to give it a browny tone. And then I went in with my silvers and started doing my metallics. I love metallics. There's obviously an argument for non-metallic metal painting. Nothing wrong with it, but I just prefer metallics. They just look awesome. They're shiny and cool, and I'm a simple creature and I like shiny things, so yeah. This is just a couple of little highlighty bits like the teeth and just a few little detail bits that I've kind of either not done or I'm mopping up as we go around the mini. There's no real order to how I paint, so it's very much like I skip around a lot. So as I've said before, art ADHD, so yeah. And then we do my panel lining. Panel lining is something I'm not particularly great at. I mean, you might argue I'm not particularly great at any of this, but this is definitely something I'm learning. And good thing is with Orcs, you haven't got to do a lot of it. But I really did want to line his jacket because I just wanted it to have that little pop on the corners, which will make a massive difference. And again, a little bit more panel lining for the leather, just going around, just kind of etching in a few little details. Just these little things make the model pop a little bit more, make it a little bit more than tabletop ready, if that makes sense. And here we have a disaster. One little dot straight in the eye. Damn it. Yeah. I had a break after this. And now we bust out the fun bit. The airbrush. I love the airbrush. So I airbrushed the base and I airbrushed the glow effect from underneath, the OSL. And this was the scariest part because I took a model that I was actually pretty happy with the paint job and started spraying over it. Which, to be honest with you, actually saved the model. And I was no longer bothered about the squig. Like I said at the beginning of this, it was this phase that really made me happy with how the squig looks. So yeah, I was very, very happy with this. It is terrifying to do once you've got a model to a good phase, but It's really, really good for OSLs. I used 3 different coats of turquoise that I mixed myself, and yeah. And that is our Goff Rocker done. I really enjoyed that paint project. It was a lot of fun. Little dude is just here. You're obviously going to see the finished product in a moment in a much better quality video than me just holding the mini, but give you an idea how small he is at least. But I really enjoy mini painting. I love it. It is just a hobby to me. It is not, I'm not going to be a professional painter. I've no interest in trying too hard to be as professional as possible, and it's one of these things. I'm a tattooist. I'm not a mini painter. I'm a mini painter as a hobby. I absolutely love it. But I do want to improve. I do want to get better. I do want to kind of, you know, be prouder of my work. So if anyone does have any criticism or any tips and help and anything like that, greatly appreciated. Let me know what you think of the final product and everything. So I will end with, if you guys could please like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, leave a comment, tell your sister, tell your mum, invite your dog walker, whatever you do on YouTube. I don't really care, but it does help the channel, so thank you very much. I'm still learning all that stuff. So yeah, if you guys could do all of that stuff, it sounds like a lot, I would really appreciate it. And from me, stay positive, stay happy, and whatever you do today, make sure you go out and smash it. And I hope you guys like the final product of the Goff Rocker. Cheers, guys.